We invite you to join us.
The following is a preamble of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Whereas 481 years ago, the rediscovery of this family of islands, rocks and keys, heralded the rebirth of the New World. And whereas the people of this family of islands, recognizing that the preservation of their freedom will be guaranteed by a national commitment to self-discipline, industry, loyalty, unity, and an abiding respect for Christian values and the rule of law. Now, know we therefore, we the inheritors of and successors to this family of islands, recognizing the supremacy of God and believing in the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual, do hereby proclaim in solemn praise the establishment of a free and democratic sovereign nation, founded on spiritual values, and in which no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone, or their labor exploited, or their lives frustrated by deprivation, and do hereby provide by these articles for the indivisible unity and creation under God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
It's Monday, April 4th, 2022, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, a town hall meeting held in North Andros. St. Thomas More teachers beefing up efforts to improve reading levels. We've lighted up blue for World Autism Month. And the Queen's baton is in the Bahamas. So let's start the morning off right.
The morning edition is brought to you by We Buy You Sell Company, your leading hurricane impact windows, doors, and tile specialist.
When you feel like quitting, think about why you started. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning edition. I'm LaDawn Davis.
Good Monday morning to everybody out there. I'm Charles Fisher. I'm not letting LaDawn say my name anymore. I'm feeling quite better. So, had a great weekend. You're all rosy this morning. Something must have happened nice on the weekend.
I'm not going to say, but yeah. I had a good weekend.
Good. I had a great weekend, too, and we're going to have a great week ahead. We have some great stories in store for you this morning. What's on the docket?
I know you're going to my hometown.
Yeah, we're going to carry the baton around to Eleuthera this morning, stop in Spanish Wells, and we're also going to stop in Harbor Island, your hometown. I know they're going to give those persons a hero's welcome. You know, the Commonwealth Games are later on this year, and the baton is traveling around. It arrived in the capital on Saturday.
That should be interesting.
Had a little festival in Awaki and also in Russell Square. Also, a big weekend for track and field. The Griffith Trials were held on the weekend, and so we're going to let people know just who made those teams this weekend. Also, we're going to show you a picture, and you're going to be amused by this picture. You know that young men normally get bad rap for the things that's happening in the country nowadays, but stay tuned that this picture is going to speak over 1,000 words. We're going to have that coming up as well. Also, we have literacy from St. Thomas More.
St. Thomas More had their reading week last week, so a bit exciting to see how the reading levels would improve after they continue to have these reading weeks every particular week.
But just to see how traffic is going out there on the streets, we have a new face this morning. Antoinette Smith is out there with Corporal Kim. Good morning, Antoinette.
Good morning, Fisher and LaDawn, and good morning, Bahamas. Your morning traffic report is coming to you live from Wolf Road and Montrose Avenue. I can tell you from the 6 o'clock area, like this pace has really been picking up. A lot of vehicles traversing in and out of this area. But for now, with us this morning is Corporal Patrick Kemp of the Royal Bahamas Police Traffic Division. Corporal Kemp, thank you so much for joining us. How are you this morning?
I'm good. And good morning, Anthony. And good morning, Bahamas.
All righty, can we get a look at overnight stats before we get into the nitty-gritty of things?
Sure. Well, we reported us within the last 24 hours with 6 accidents, 5 regular accidents, and 1 hit-and-run accident. And again, like I normally advise the motoring public to please drive with due care and attention. There's no need to for the excessive speed. There's no need to for the road rage. And I'm encouraging you to obey all traffic signs and road markings on the street.
All right, Cam, so we are officially 3 months into the year, 3 months have passed. I've got a big question for you today. What are the top 3 traffic offenses that you've seen for this period of 2022?
Boy, you know, it is so much different offenses. I'd have to say for me that the top 3 that I've seen and increasing, it will have to be the excessive speed. And persons who are going above and beyond the speed limit. They definitely have to be persons who fail to keep left. That's those drivers who like to come and go down the middle lane, just overtaking a long line of traffic. And it got to be accidents on the roundabout. There are a lot of persons who just don't seem to get the roundabout down park after all these years. And so we're definitely going to have to touch base on that more.
So we've heard about the top 3 big offenses of 2022. So obviously with those offenses come drivers who like to make excuses when you guys pull them over.
Definitely.
So what are the top 3 excuses?
Listen, Anthony, let me tell you, the excuses that we hear is above and beyond, is out of this world. Like, for example, the law has been amended now. Persons, you ought to travel with your license and your insurance documents with you at all times. One of the excuses, the main excuses with persons not having them, they always seem to leave them at home all the time. Persons who are picking up their kids or with their children not properly seatbelt and their child protective seat, or we just left with the store, or we just going up the road. You know what I mean? That's no excuse. When you jump in your vehicle with those little ones, you're supposed to make sure that they're properly secured in those vehicles. Those are some of the more popular excuses. Running the traffic light. Officer, I didn't want to stop in the middle of the intersection. I didn't want to press brakes too hard and might have collided into somebody.
All right, well, it seems that we're running out of time in this hour. I'm going to talk to you about those excuses because I probably made 1 or 2. That's all we have for now. We're going to toss it back to you, Fisher and LaDon.
Thanks a lot, Anthony. We are waking up to 73 degrees, mostly cloudy. Winds east at 4 miles per hour, humidity 88%. Our stationary frontal boundary near the northwest powers will continue to progressively weaken while moving eastward for all areas. Weather very cloudy and very warm with a chance of an isolated shower or 2 and a slight chance of an isolated thunderstorm throughout tonight. Your daytime high temperature 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Overnight low of 73. And as we look ahead to Tuesday, a shower and thunderstorm happening early in the morning, so bring out those umbrellas. 87 in the day, 74 at night. And then on Wednesday, gets a little clear, mostly sunny and breezy, humid, 86 in the day, 73 at night.
Residents in the North Andros community coming together at a town hall meeting recently, the focus on improving infrastructure and better economic opportunities. The session's most heated component was a discussion of a proposed mining project in the area.
First time it came here, we did not support it. These same mining interests were mining limestone in Grand Bahama for over 70 years.
Because it's a Bahamian company, it's so hard to get this approval.
If you are going to make these decisions, first they need to be in the right location, and they are to be to the benefit of all the Bahamian citizens. We told the investors, you have to go back and come back to the people with a project that Androsians can support.
If we're able to capture this credit, these carbon credits, and the market, it means enormous benefits for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
A school tour taking place across the North Andros district encouraging students on what getting a good quality education means to becoming a productive citizen. Clara Evans Primary School along with Huntley Christie High School in Nicholstown, Bertram Newton in Red Bays, and Roselda Woodside in Mastic Point. Huntley Christie's principal Cornelius Clyde explains why these efforts are an important tool.
You know, we are fully face-to-face at this time, and the mask and the sanitizers and the wipes, they are really needed at this time to keep this pandemic at a minimum. Because of the size of the campus, we actually had to expand some of the classroom to a cafeteria area. But at this time, we are trying to make it work as best as possible. Right now, we are at 307, but on register, we have like 320. A good amount of outstanding students and all of the capacity, the intellect, the skills, the talent. You know, we have art, music, as you can see, that was going on.
With more COVID restrictions being relaxed, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. The Honorable Michael Darville recently responded to the question of whether or not removing the travel health visa is up for consideration. Here's how he responded.
The Ministry of Tourism, along with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, watching what is happening worldwide. We're watching the caseload or the case burden as it relates to many of the countries where we have tourism. And we're watching it closely, and that decision will be made when the appropriate time comes with a cabinet involvement.
The government's removal of the COVID-19 inter-island travel testing between the capital and the nation's second city, Grand Bahama, getting the approval from the Bahamas Out-Island Promotion Board. Executive Director Kerry Fountain is confident the new protocol will enable some of the 35 hotel properties across the Family Islands to financially benefit.
You can just pick up at the last minute and go, and also save a couple of dollars. And one of the things that I like to remind folks of is, in addition to saving a couple of dollars now that you don't have to purchase a test, getting to the Family Islands from Nassau, especially if you're staying in one of our member hotels, becomes even more affordable, because we have for residents of the Bahamas, for Bahamians traveling from Nassau to the Family Islands, if you stay 2 nights in one of my member hotels, you get 1 free round-trip ticket. If you stay 4 nights, you get 2 free round-trip tickets.
Census 2022 will start this month. The Bahamas National Statistical Institute, BNSI, formerly known as the Department of Statistics, will administer the census digitally for the first time. Conducted every 10 years, the survey provides the government with data to implement policy planning initiatives toward national development. The $6 million digital exercise will survey 115,000 households by some 16,000 numerators. Chief Census Officer Kim Saunders appeals to the public to support the process.
They will be adorned in bright colored vests. They will have letters assigned by our acting managing director. They will have proper identification badges. Cooperate with our workers. Be truthful in answering the questions. And please secure your dogs. For persons who have gates that are inaccessible to our workers, we're asking you to at least be on the lookout for them and be cooperative in responding and allowing them access to your property.
And when we come back, St. Thomas More teachers beefing up efforts to improve reading. Keep it locked.
For hurricane season, we got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. Before teens get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
39 doctors across 7 specialty fields are the most recent postgraduate residents at the University of the West Indies Clinical Medicine and Research Program. After being delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the ceremony finally took place at the Bahama Convention Center over the weekend. The Prime Minister and Minister of Health joined senior medical officials along with family friends to celebrate the occasion. Here's Jumanita Swain.
The University of the West Indies is the primary choice for Bahamians desiring to cultivate a career in the medical field. Its recent postgraduate class of specialist doctors spans 7 medical disciplines. Recognizing the program's impact since inception was Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, who congratulated the new physicians on achieving this goal.
1997, as we were told, 572 doctors have been trained by our UWI campus. Remarkable is the fact that 80% of them are Bahamians. That includes over 127 specialists spanning 7 disciplines. That is certainly praiseworthy. You are now among that fortunate few. Congratulations once again. I look forward to witnessing the contributions you will make to local health care, as well as on the national and international scene.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. The Honorable Michael Darwell also giving the new doctors accolades for their hard work. He noted how physicians continue to play a crucial role in weathering the COVID-19 pandemic.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness can see clearly the need we currently face and begin to focus on essential healthcare upgrades, improvement in healthcare delivery systems, and the vital role healthcare professionals must play as we strive to rebuild and improve the medical services across the country. Today more than ever, there's a pressing need to ensure that our medical facilities have a cadre of well-trained doctors, specialists, nurses, and other healthcare professionals.
One of the key players in UWI's medical program is its director, Dr. Robin Roberts, who touted the program's success.
As we stabilize our undergraduate admissions to about 30 students per year, we envisage the realization that every graduate will be enrolled in a postgraduate training program and to include careers in public health and postgraduate degrees in health management and leadership, not only just careers based in clinical medicine. Forward in my lifetime to a full 5-year undergraduate program in the Bahamas as an independent, self-governant faculty becoming a reality.
These graduates completed specialist programs in surgery, psychiatry, internal, family, and emergency medicine, as well as pediatrics, and they're ready to get the job done.
This COVID pandemic has caused our Department of Internal Medicine to be particularly stretched and shown the importance of internal medicine specialists in this country. Undeniably, this program is
have about maybe say 40 for the 400,000 individuals in the Bahamas. I am the first graduate from the psychiatry program in the last 8 years. And
the most recent DM surgery graduates, I'd like to thank the university for world-class education and congratulate the remainder of the class on a job well done.
Radiology, anesthesia, and orthopedics program proposals have been submitted for accreditation with an anticipated start in the next academic year.
Reading is a number of interactive processes between the reader and the text in which readers use their knowledge to build, create, and construct. Reading is a fundamental for the hundreds of primary students at St. Thomas More who were eagerly excited about their reading week recently. The school's reading specialist, Tamika Hanna, talked about the significance of this event.
We have it dubbed Catch 22, Double the Fun with Reading. On this day, we are focusing on the enjoyment of reading, and we would like for kids to now go back into the storybooks and read them more often, all right? Because there is pleasure when it comes to reading. Well, we have various readers coming in. We have parents and guardians that are coming in to read to our kids this morning, and everyone has their own storybook title. We have storybooks such as Bahamian story titles, along with whereas the kids will play hopscotch. They will also do a little ring play before the reading, so we have the enjoyment whereas we're doing creative things.
Now, when asked if watching more television as opposed to reading is causing a decline in reading levels, Hannah responded this way.
Well, because of the pandemic, you know, most kids now focus on the virtual and the internet. So we want the storybook come back to life. That's what we're really focusing on. There are whole lots of electronic books that kids can also be involved in and find pleasure in that as well. So we're looking for the importance of reading where it is fundamental because it plays a big factor when it comes to our writing as well.
And as we head to the break, we take a look back at today in Bahamian history. On April 4th, 1962, a new subdivision called Bahama Sound opened 2 miles southwest of Georgetown, Exuma. Also on this day in 1996, the nation's first double coronary bypass operation was performed at Doctors Hospital.
April 2nd marks World Autism Awareness Day and kicked off World Autism Month.
This special month is celebrated by wearing the color blue, which is meant to increase and understand the autism spectrum disorder, ASD, which appears to be one of the fastest growing development disability affecting Bahamian children. 1 in every 68 children are affected, with boys being 4 times more likely.
Although a lot of research is being conducted on this disorder, there remains a lot that needs to be done. As parents of an autistic child, we recognize that ASD is definitely more about his abilities rather than any perceived disabilities. These kids are unique in every way, shape, and form. They have the ability to love more and to be loved more and bring people from all walks of life together to show love and support for this community.
KO Bahamas Business Solutions
And Alive supports World Autism Month.
As an artist, I travel all over the world, and I find inspiration all around me, in the people, and especially the environment. I love the Bahamas with all its natural beauty, from Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south, and all the wonderful and colorful islands in between. But we must all do our part to keep the Bahamas healthy and clean, now and for the future generations. That's why I want you to find a little time to do your part. I'm doing my part because I care. Do you?
World Autism Awareness Day has been observed on April 2nd for the past 15 years. Here in the Bahamas, Reach Bahamas continued its annual Light It Up Blue event at the Queens College campus to celebrate the occasion. Senior government officials joined organization members to generate more awareness while also promoting and celebrating the resilience of those afflicted by autism. Here's Jimmy Swain.
1 in 44 children in the U.S. have some form of autism. Boys are 4 times more likely to be diagnosed with autism than girls. And about 1%, or over 75 million of the world's population, are on the spectrum.
Those global autism statistics listed by Reach Bahamas Chairman Dwayne Gibson, providing more clarity on the disorder's impact around the world. The Resources and Education for Autism-Related Challenges, or REACH, marks World Autism Awareness Day with its annual Light It Up Blue event at Queens College campus. Several supporters remained in their cars to adhere to COVID-19 protocols. Minister of National Security and Member of Parliament for Freetown, the Honorable Wayne Munro, is an autistic parent, and his colleague, the Minister of Social Services and Urban Development, the Honorable Obi Wolshcombe, has an autistic brother. Both shared their testimonials on this life-changing condition.
Once you receive your diagnosis, you go through a number of feelings. One, the most obvious, is that you just don't accept it. And then the lack of acceptance moves to a bit of despair.
He is magnificent with numbers. He startles me when he speaks with me. When he listens to music and is able to tell me who sings and who doesn't sing, and who performed and who didn't perform. When he comes to me and tells me stories about his own life, and I recognize that his message is always very simple. I too must be included.
Speaking on behalf of the Prime Minister was the Minister of State for Education, Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Zane Lightbourne, who commended Reach Bahamas for their tireless efforts in promoting autism awareness while acknowledging the uptick in enrollment for special needs students.
We are still intently working to encourage our educators to study areas that would allow substantial increase in the special services disciplines. We must increase our cohort of behavioral therapists, speech therapists, psychologists, early interventionists, and special education educators.
So far, Reach Bahamas has secured the resources of a speech pathologist who has already assisted 40 students free of charge. It's a move that has made quite a difference.
I encourage everyone to take advantage of the survey that Reach is doing. It is only when policymakers like myself know the volume of the problem that we can apply our minds to setting policies to address those problems.
There's a spark of greatness in each of us. That spark is called personality. Individual gifts and talents provide the fuel to set that spark ablaze. Each child has the right to an education which values their personality and nurtures their talents, while teaching them to be respectful to their parents and their cultures.
And after trials this weekend, the B3 is naming a 54-member team that will travel to Jamaica April 15th through the 18th for the Grifter Track and Field Championships. 13 under 17 girls make up the team. Shatalia Dorset, Kiana Henschel, Nia Wright, Erin Barr, Coy Adley, Jemiah Nabi, Zoe Adley, Terrell McCoy, Ane Maki, Kaylin Johnson, Daniel Nixon, Camara Strawn, Diore Scott, and Lanisha Lubin. 14 under 17 boys, Andrew Brown, Tamani Skinner, Ishmael Rule, Philip Gray, Zion Miller, Berkeley Munnings, Raywin Winder, Quentin Rule, Jelani Morrison, Jonathan Rogers, Jason Woodside, D'Angelo Colley, Robert Stewart, and Nathaniel McHardy. For the 8 under 20 girls, Paige Archer, Giovanna Valcott, Shawnice Miller, Sabria Farquharson, Kalia Jackson, Bonisha Knowles, and Vanessa Sawyer. Under 20 boys, 19 members there, Antoine Andros, Zachary Evans, Carlos Brown, Zion Campbell, Shamar Smith, Lyndon Johnson, Keanu Ferguson, Curtis Mitchell, Stephen Farquharson, Jethro Baptiste, Mateo Smith, Brandon Hutchison, Keyshawn Strawn, Nathaniel Zervas, Kenny Moxie Jr., DeJohn Spence, Shamar Bain, Michael Stiles, and Brandon Vanderpool. The head coach is Luther Roll. He will be assisted by Derek Wells, Andrew Tynes, Nikino Demerit, Paddy Roll, Jameson Pratt, Walden Wims, and Laquel Harris. Well, don't look at this. While all the attention was on the trials, this was the best picture from the weekend that went viral. A group of young men praying together prior to the finals of the under-17 boys 100 meters. Now, Ishmael Rule was one of the youngsters in the center of this picture.
Christopher Rogel is the one who actually called us up to pray, but Andrew Brown was the one who prayed for us. Both said that we stay humble, that we aim for our personal records, and we hope that all of us make the Grifter team. And for those who didn't make the Grifter team, to be positive because we still have more time. I didn't expect this picture to go viral, but I am glad that it did because I'm able to encourage others that might be younger than me who think they can become better on achieving their goals or dreams, not to be frustrated that you still can do so even at your age.
And yes, at just 13 years old, Ishmael Roll was able to capture the under-17 boys century in a time of 11.04 seconds under the Grifter qualifier of 11.24, and his name is on the team.
I feel very excited that I made the Grifter team, knowing that there are others that might be faster than me, older than me, but I am able to compete against them to my best abilities. I hope that I perform well with no injuries caused, and that all the others who are running Grifter should perform well as well. I am very glad that my coach decided to bump me up to under 17, so I am able to actually run. And whatever place I come, I hope that I achieve my personal best instead of worrying about whatever place.
Now, in preparation for the upcoming Commonwealth Games, which will be held later this year in Birmingham, England, the Queen's Parton arrived in Nassau on Saturday to much fanfare. Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Boleg, and President of the Commonwealth Games Association of the Bahamas, Romel Knowles, were among those taking part in the activities.
To be here and for us to share in these celebrations. And I would like for you to just continue giving us your support, all of our athletes. We want to ensure you that our athletes will be well prepared to compete and represent this country very well.
A total of a whopping 32 medals. Now that deserves a round of applause for a small Commonwealth country. 10 golds, 10 silver, and 12 bronze medals. And we suspect that we'll win some more in the coming days, months in Birmingham 2022. And I can tell you that the Commonwealth Games Association of Bahamas, we're preparing our athletes and we're up to the task.
Well, Ladonna, they say like that baton now will be going to Eleuthera this morning. First stop is in Spanish Wells, then over to Harbour Island. So the youngsters, they will get a chance to see that baton, feel it, and experience what we normally experience
and
here.
that picture was quite inspiring.
When I saw that on the weekend, Ladonna, I had to get one of those young men to get an answer. But you know, because if you and I going into a game, I don't want to have nothing to say to you. I just want to be in my mind frame. I don't care what happened to you. But them, the youngsters, they got together, said a prayer together. That was so touching, and I hope that inspires a lot of persons this week.
Can you still run?
Run my mouth. That's I'll pass the legacy on to Charlie. Don't forget, she won 6 gold medals a few weeks ago at the Bahamas Scholarship Association meet. So that's where my focus is on. Now, be sure to stay tuned into the ZS Network for news as it happens, TV and radio updates throughout the day. Then you can tune into the Northern Edition at 6:30 and the Bahamas Tonight at 7 o'clock. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.
Have a great morning, everybody.
Walking down the beach, picking shells out of the sand now. All for you, yeah, all for you. Bring the shells, so gonna put them in your hands now. All for you, yeah, all for you. Mama Lily, Mama Lily, Mama Lily.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.